It's a scenario repeated the world over. Your football team is struggling, but we're told to take heart. The Saviour has arrived. As a new signing is unveiled before adoring home fans, everybody pins their hopes on this person being able to help out, turn things around. We put so much faith in this person. We believe that they can do it. Perhaps it's because of some great performances or good write-ups in the press. We think we have good reason to believe in them. There's bound to be the doubters though. They've seen it all before. Great expectations can lead to great disappointment. They don't want to get too excited. Come to think of it, perhaps we're all a bit reluctant to trust anyone anymore because we've been let down so many times. And that's not just when it comes to sport. Well, we're continuing our series of talks here, working through the book of John in the Bible and looking particularly at what it says about Jesus. Can he really be trusted? We're only up to the 2nd chapter, and already we've seen some amazing things. In the talk on John chapter 1, we commented that Jesus was God in flesh, coming to earth and roaming around in real time and real places. If you read through the text of the book yourself, you'll see plenty of these real places mentioned. Like right here in chapter 2. The very first words of this chapter are a reference to a place in the area of the world you might find today labelled on an atlas as Israel. Jesus had moved on to a town called Galilee to celebrate a wedding. He certainly is not against good times and celebrations. But the events that unfold at this wedding are not like any other. Reading the first few sentences in John chapter 2, it describes the details of Jesus going to the wedding and the wine running out. Things are not looking good for the host. But then Jesus does an extraordinary thing. It says that he got 6 stone water jars, had them filled with water, but when they tasted it, the water had now become wine. Not just any wine, it's the best drop of the day. We pick things up then at verse 11. Commenting on what Jesus has done, it says, "This, the first of his signs, Jesus did at Cana in Galilee, and manifested his glory. And his disciples believed in him." This is a very helpful verse in the text because it helps explain to us the significance and meaning of what Jesus has just done. This is the first sign Jesus performs, it says. The first. There's plenty more to come. But for now, note the key thing about this. It's a sign. Signs have a purpose. We're not supposed to get caught up in the sign itself and then miss out on what they are pointing to. We see here that this is the very first of the signs that Jesus performs to show us who he is. It shows or displays or manifests, as it says, how glorious he is. We see that Jesus is special, that he is in fact God. And this is a sign that he can be trusted for who he is. This is the beginnings here of real evidence. It's no false hope. No one else can do this sort of thing. Changing water into wine is an act of creation. And we saw in chapter 1 that Jesus is God, the Creator. Notice also that when Jesus performs this miracle, the disciples, those who are Jesus' close followers, well, they respond. They believe in Jesus. And with very good reason. They're starting to realise that they can trust him. And he doesn't stop with the disciples. If we read on through the rest of the chapter, Jesus travels down to a place called Capernaum next. And whilst there, it says that many believed in his name when they saw the signs that he was doing. What is it about Jesus that these people are believing though? Well, I'm not sure they had it all quite right. Jesus indicates that he's not just after people's fanaticism for his performances. There's more to it than just getting a few fans along the way, building up his cheer squad. He's not just after the thrill seekers. Jesus wants people to believe him for who he really is, the Son of God, the one who comes to bring real life for all. That's the kind of belief we need in Jesus. You remember back to the introduction to this series, how we skipped through to the end of the book and saw why John has chosen to write it. It says towards the end of the book of John, in John chapter 20 verse 30, that Jesus did many other signs in the presence of the disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. John's given us reason behind the material he's written in this book, starting here with this turning of water into wine. The first, remember, of many signs Jesus was to perform. Jesus has well and truly arrived, and is no disappointment. He won't let you down. Here is the man we can trust, for our present, for our past, and for our future. Will you trust him? We'll keep checking him out. There's plenty more to come.